Good time zone chat. How's everybody doing? Welcome. Let's test the buttons. All right, buttons work. Camera has reset for some reason. I don't think I restarted my computer. That's a little weird. What do you know? Logitech and Streamlabs being weird. Let's go through our daily adjustments. Speaking of daily adjustments, one of the things not a birthday present, but a birthday agreement I made with my wife yesterday on my lovely 50th birthday was to start doing yoga. She's done it before. I never have, but with the ways in which aging is affecting my physical health and happiness, it seems like yoga would be a great help to that. I'm just, I don't sleep. I wake up a little sore, just a little soreness. I just feel like if I were more flexible and just got more regular stretching in. Oh, I only snap like a dry twig if I push it farther than I'm supposed to be, right? You know, I'm just gonna try to understand my limits and not overdo it. That's not what I wanted to do. It's weird. That, and then, no, let's come down here. This camera, I feel like my monitor got whacked around or something. It's not usually this low, but yeah, see, hold on, I don't like the ceiling showing up. I'm gonna do this. I guess the ceiling is just gonna, never mind. My desk, I don't know, something feels different about my setup and I can't figure it out. I guess I grew because I turned 50. That's a little better. All right, let's check in, a little roll call. What's up, Timber? Welcome. Hey, Tron. Rob, howdy. Good time zone to you. Hat with the mechanical link. Sure, let's look at that today. What's up, Timber? Hey, Pablo. Right on, Tron. Get there. Memorize those patterns. I'm sure they don't have patterns anymore. That's one of my favorite game show stories, this side of the big scandal they made the movie about. Generally, on-set stories of what the match game was. That the 70s game show culture was wild. It was just like you lured celebrities, you lured your B-list celebrities to your game show panel with the party, basically, and they do all the shooting and just like it was a bunch of loaded celebrities. Siriana, welcome. Oh, no worries. Appreciate your birthday wishes and glad you're here today. Welcome. Thank you, Duncan. Hello, Mama. How you doing? A hat with the yeah. I gave I did D's AMA with some extensive Ryan perspective life lessons. You can check that out. There's so many more. I even in the last 24 hours, I'm like, oh, here's another 10 that should have been on the list that I just didn't think of in time. Life lessons are hard to internalize and maintain. Hey, Doc, thank you for the sub. 23 months, closing in on 2 years. Thank you. Oh, really? I know. I gotta watch it. You did a little extra work there. Cool. What's up, Duncan? Hey, Media. Welcome, Alexis. Hey, New Brew. What's up, Gar? Is if you can tell me the difference between yoga and Pilates, and I'm sure my wife could, and what the pros and cons of each are for physical health, I'm a reed in the wind. That's how flexible I am. I'm going to get it even more flexible. Preview review, very good. The point of hot yoga is to moisten your twigs so they don't snap. That doesn't ring true. Our place. The what? I'm with Alexis. The what? Social experiment thing where they made a place and folks could... Oh, yeah, I actually did hear about that. One of my kids... That's probably Clara. I think... No, it's Oliver. Yeah, Oliver told me about that one. Yeah, we'll do the sealed mixer. I'm in for sealed Ravnica. Let's do it. I still haven't... I think we've talked about the press your luck guy before, and you mentioned the doc. I haven't seen it yet, but give me actually here. I'll remedy that. I'm gonna make a note of it in a place that matters. What's it called? Friend and former colleague of mine, Tom Lapilli, strongly recommends Everything Everywhere All at Once. I don't know anything about it, but Tom Lapilli never broadcasts recommendations of like anything like that on Facebook. So when he did them, like I took note of that. So just saying, that's just as I go to make a note of this new recommendation, that I saw that one and thought I would throw that out. Big bucks, thank you. I haven't even seen it. Like I love that I know nothing about the Tom Lapilli recommendation. That's one of my favorite things, is to get just the title of a thing that someone I really trust says is great, and then to try to learn nothing else about it and just start fresh from the beginning and let the entertainment property tell its tale from the beginning instead of from the marketing beginning. You know what I mean? But there, I requested it. So now it will actually get in front of my eyeballs as an option coming up. Because I would love to see that. I think it's like I say, it's a fascinating story. Jopster, welcome. Bergdorfer, hello. OPKS in the house. The rewards are only guilds. I wonder if they decide that, like, I wonder if that's one of the lesser, like, they know that people are missing that one more than any of the others in their collections, and that it's the best collection builder for people. I don't know. Lunchtime basketball. Maybe basketball is something I would consider doing after starting with yoga. I'm a terrible shot, but I'm tall relative to average, so it tends to work out to just be the pick side of the pick and roll guy or the rebounder. And just defense and rebounding is mainly what I do when I'm on a team, but I just got to know who the shooter is and get it to him. But it's been when's the last time I shot or even held a basketball? It's got to be over a decade, seriously. I think I played with my brother-in-law about 10 plus years ago for a bit. Yeah, just things. I bet a lot of people stopped their yoga in the last couple years if they were doing it in a studio with a live trainer, you know. Oh, I'm not. Marshall still towers above me. I'm above 6'2", somewhere between 6'2" and 6'3". Probably closer to 6'2", but it's more fun to say 6'3". Marshall is like 6'8". And I've told this story before, but I was in an elevator. We were playing poker in our poker group on the 5th floor of this building I worked in. And for the first time in my life, I was in an elevator with 5 people, and I was the shortest person in the elevator. It was crazy. We had some giants in our poker game. And Lee, Marshall, Chuck, and what's his name? Anyway, I remember the guy. Like it was quite an elevator. I'm surprised we didn't hit the weight limit too. It was packed. I think Marshall was tied for tallest in that elevator. Coda is Child of Deaf Adults, which was the Best Picture winner. I started watching that movie, but I haven't finished it yet. It's I've enjoyed. It's not that I haven't enjoyed it. I just something came up and I hit stop. You know how that goes. I'm down for doing it with others who haven't touched a ball in a decade, so we can laugh at each other. I can't get any worse at shooting. That's actually just one of the more frustrating things that I've put a little bit of time into trying to be better at and not gotten better in very frustrating ways. It's like, all right, I understand physics. Here's the ball. There's the hoop. I understand shooting. I got to have the right form, hand side, hand, you know, I'm trying to do it. And it's just like, I need to push it so that it lands in. That's all I got to do. And it never goes in. The MFer never goes in. And so then I just stopped pretending that it was going to get better and became your inside man. I got your D. I'll set your picks. I'll hit your layups about 60% of the time. You know, but I'm tall enough I'll get my own rebound and eventually I'll get it in. That is and you hit on the reason I'm a little wary of basketball. It's a sport where you end up injured at some point. I mean, a lot of these high energy team sports tend to produce injury on some level with enough time, but basketball, you're just going to step on somebody's damn shoe at some point and twist your ankle. It's just like you're just gonna. Skiing's like that for me. I was like, I kind of enjoy going down a mountain with speed slats strapped to my feet, but it's intimidating. It's like, oh god, oh god, this could all go so badly. What's up, Magic Star? Welcome. If you want to look for, I'm sure there's plenty of pictures out there of Matt Tabak and Mark Rosewater. They are both funny guys who've done bit after bit after bit over the years in R&D, partly because of their disparate heights. But Matt Tabak is also 6'8", so if you wanted to get a sense for what Marshall would look like next to Morrow, find any Tabak plus Morrow photo. Yeah, that's great, Alexa. This is the thing. It's like that's why I'm looking forward to yoga. Like yoga is a sport that actually like will make my body feel better. But I also like competition, right? I mean, the fun thing about these sports that risk my body, well, not skiing, but team sports, is that I get to play a game and try to be spiky about basketball, which is of course why never being able to hit a shot pissed me off so much, because I had a spiky mentality about it. Yeah, I do volleyball too. That'd be fun. Volleyball seems like an interesting alternative to basketball to get back into some team sports. Yeah. PhD in physics doesn't help. That helps. That makes me feel better, Pablo. Thank you. Volleyball is cool. Come on. That's like some sports. I want all the alternate universe sports that we don't know about. There's so many. If all game design is possible, it just needs to be discovered. Think of all the wonderful sports that haven't been worked out yet. Because like volleyball, I want to know now. I want to look up the history of volleyball and net sports in general. When did the idea of, okay, we got a thing in the middle and an object, and we're gonna try to vie for control over this back and forth object? Tennis, racket sports. When did that start? Net sports, not just racket sports, really, but like net-based sporting. Baseball. One of my favorite baseball anecdotes is John Kruk. Not Hall of Fame, I don't think, but he might have been MVP. He was always one of the better hitters in baseball. First baseman, but you look at him and you not think this is a professional athlete, even in his prime. Baseball is funny that way. There's some baseball players that you're like, you can play baseball. Wow. And Kruk is like, you don't look like it. Anyway, Krucky was caught by, anecdotally, I don't know if this story is true or just apocryphal with this guy, but he was caught smoking by a fan, or by a woman who recognized him, and she's like, scolds him, you're an athlete, you shouldn't be smoking. And he said, lady, I'm not an athlete, I'm a baseball player. It's great. It might not be the exact quote, but it's certainly the gist. Volleyball, interesting. I would do. What's the one? Is that the one in the? What's the one with the basically go-karts plus basketball? Whirly ball. I'm gonna go do some whirly ball in North Seattle. I bet that thing's. I wonder if that's open. That can't possibly have survived the pandemic unless it was like a money laundering operation. Walter White converting drug cash to income. Beach volleyball, yeah, that's doing anything on sand other than lying on it is pretty miserable, if you ask me. Surely somebody's blawed me by now. Wow, almost at 9:30. Let's hop into here at least. I'll show you I'm moving towards it. But enjoying chatting with you all today. I had a great birthday yesterday. I want to thank my community. Some of you know that, and I don't know if you want me to share. I could share the link if those participating would like to. I don't. But the community made me a happy birthday video that I got yesterday, and it was touching and lovely, and I watched it with my family, and it was heartwarming and just a great send-off right before we went out to a fancy dinner. We had some, well, three of us had steak, and my vegetarian wife had something else, but it was just a great day, and that was a great moment and a great day, and I wanted to thank everybody involved in making that video happen. Duncan is kind of the final edit and sent me the link and everything, and he had some notes for me on it, and even as I was watching it, I was like, wow, this is so great. It was being able to put some faces to these names in chat. I mean, you all get to see my face, and it was really wonderful to have that back in the other direction for those who wanted to. But I was also thinking, even as it started, like, wow, this is amazing, and I love this. But I hope anybody who couldn't or just didn't want to participate in this way doesn't think that I'm thinking ill of them or wondering where they're at. Like, it was so wonderful. I was just happy for anybody who wanted to, who was able to and wanted to participate in that way. Any of you who, I also hear that like some contributions are coming in late. You know who has some empathy for that, right? So no worries. Like, anyway, if you're worried that like you were late, or you're worried that I don't really want to do that, but I like Ryan, no worries. Everybody who participated, thank you so much. Everybody who in their heart participated, but for whatever reason wasn't on it or isn't going to be on it, thank you for being here. I know you're with me, and it's. Your community did that on your behalf, right? This was a community effort, and so for those of you who didn't or couldn't participate in that direct way, well, your friends here had your back. So thank them for that, and know that I see you all, and I thank you all, and appreciate you all. Mike's looking for alchemy decks. Let's get going, though. Right on. Ringer in the Govitational. Look out. Look out! Fox in the hen house. Alexis is here. Although she's rusty. That's the thing. You got to get her before she fully re-engages with magic and becomes just a devastating win machine. Well, I will never, ever, ever consider you an easy out, no matter how long it's been since you've touched a card or clicked a card, if you know what I mean. Yeah, if we're all good with sharing, I'll at least share the video for those who haven't seen it and would like to. Oh, I did have one question. So the David Royale section from El Salvador, is David one of those people on stage, or was he sharing something that he experienced or enjoyed? Like, I couldn't tell if I was supposed to see David somewhere, which would be amazing, like if he happens to be in a band, or if he's just sharing some live music he experienced. That's amazing too. I just wasn't sure which one. But here's the video. I'll share it. Right on MCG, playing free with multiple accounts. I kind of screwed up yesterday. My weakest side account, the one that is the closest to like me needing to play standard ranked just to grind gold, right? It's like almost out of resources. I had 3,000 gems left and just a trivial amount of gold, and I entered a Dominaria event yesterday and like didn't finish it. Like I got 2 games. I didn't even. It I just flushed 1,500 gems on my weakest account. I felt dumb. But the thing is, I also forgave myself because the whole point of the system is, what's the problem, Ryan? Can you now not play Magic that you want to? Oh, you still can? Oh, okay. So what? Yeah, all right. But you know, we like to be optimal, and I had that feeling of, oops, suboptimal. All right, and yes, let's get on with it here. I'll give you a freebie. Nobody's requested it, but even I'm thinking it.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Alrighty, here we go. Let's, well, I can't do this for gems. I don't have enough, but we can do the gold. And I'll get right to deck building here. So, okay, so it's Ravnica Allegiance and wait, that's not guilds, is it? Is that a guilds pack? No. Or maybe that was like, I can't remember. Oh, it was. Okay. That didn't register to me as a guilds pack somehow, but I guess that was. Hey, look at, we're playing Dimir. That's what's going to happen here. I mean, this is fine. This is busted. Double Guardian Project is funny. That does do some stuff, and having two of them is interesting. Maybe there's some sort of multicolored build here. We've also got Theater of Horrors is a real card as well. All of these are real rares. So let's see what else we got. Well, they both trigger. I mean, so the worst case is that you get too early and it's not really great sequencing to spend like turn 4 on this and turn 5 on another one or whatever. But I mean, they both trigger, so you'd be drawing 2. I would play, you know, I'm in generally when it's like a build around card in limited that you don't want 2 of in your hand ideally, but you have 2 of in your pool, like you're always playing both and just hoping to miss that downside. And in exchange, the upside is that you're getting your build around card early twice as often. Anyway, let's keep going and see what else we got. Maybe the uncommons will make things abundantly clear. And to that end, we're going to switch to those. Take a look. See, I see Spybug. If we've got the Surveil throughout the cards, that makes me more interested. But one of the problems with going Dimir in this type of format is that Dimir is pretty linear and focused on Surveil and Surveil payoffs. And we have half the opportunity to find Surveil cards. So we'll see. What else looks good in here? Code of Constraint is nice, and that's blue, so that's a worthy observation. Crater Maker is removal on a creature. I like that. Shark Doe. Maybe there is a Sultai build, right? Shark to Crab. We play the Guardian projects, Shark to Crab, and the Dimir stuff. So Sultai looking interesting right now. Yeah, let's check gates, right? That's going to be something that matters. We got to get... I'm going to do it this way. Oh, we got a lot. Of course, there's a lot of gates. There's one in every pack. But yeah, so this is an important part. Straight up Sultai duels, we have 3 plus 2 gateway plazas. We can totally do it. And in fact, yeah, we got a couple of red whites. A lot of seems like some easy white, but Sultai looks straightforward. 5 dual lands that support Sultai. We don't have a great turn 2 here, but let's. Well, I mean, Gateway Plaza. I mean, uses up your turn too. I just mainly was trying to comment that these lands are costly. You know, I think I play 2, but they really cost you some tempo to get going. But then they allow, in sealed, you hope to have a little extra time, and you're really trying to play all your most powerful stuff. So I think this is going to be our non-basic mana base, and then that makes me just want to check out the Sultai scene overall here and start adding stuff that looks good and figure out what the right main versus splash type color is here. Actually, I'm going to start by, I'm going to see our Surveil Sitch. Let's just see. Yeah, this is my concern, right? We can play a Spy Bug, but this is not going to get above a 2/2 really with any reliability. We got a Whisper Agent and a Demir Informant. I mean, maybe this is enough of a lightning rod, and but the way I'm looking at this with this pool in this result on a Surveil search is that this is a 1/1 Flying Menace for 2, and it'll be that for a while, and then at some point it becomes a 2/2. That's not very good, but it's not unplayable. It's just not a very good defender. It's not going to block well for a while unless they play 1 toughness flyers, so that's a concern. It's got menace, but it's not getting very big, so it's not attacking well and it's not blocking well. It becomes a very medium card. But if we're in the colors, we're probably playing it. But let's see. Chili Bee is great. Deadweight, in, clear, code. This is playable. So is even Pass Wall. Sometimes this was a real card in the original Guilds format where this comes down early and you barely see it. But then they have a 5-power creature, the board is stalled out, and now you're like, oh, I'm dead in 2 turns. Okay, now this is suddenly must kill. I have to kill the Pass Wall or I'm dead. So it doesn't read very well, but in a late game clog, it becomes actually must kill, which is not bad for 2-mana common. Informant, though, I like even better. The Surveil 2 is like drawing a card. That's a powerful effect, especially if you have any graveyard interaction where that can matter. Capture Sphere, probably good enough for sealed, even though it's not amazing. Eel, solid filler, Poisoner. I love a 1/1 Death Touch for 1. Pilfering Imp. I was higher on this in the original format than most. I just felt like, in general, I played this on 1, and at some point before they emptied their hand, would fire this off and get something. And that ended up being pretty good. Bladebrand we like a lot. Strands is somewhat dependent on your deck and how much fodder you have, but we'll throw it in for now. Sometimes you just gotta. I don't love Trumpeter without playing the red activation. We could throw in some red duels to do that, but I'm going to remember that that's there, but not add it right now. Carrion Imp is a fine addition. Dead Revels, getting stuff back. 2 things back. This is classically important in limited. Maybe we're just splashing the Guardian Project. What else? I mean, what else do we like here, even in green? I'm not going to splash mana fixing. We could add. We did have some white sources, so we could get some more removal in here. But it's almost like we're, unless there's some gold. Yeah, Shark to Crab was on the list of relevance. We can run Scuttle Gator. It's not great, but it's playable. I think we're doing this and this and this and this. But I'm seeing Sphinx's Insight and Binding and White Gates. And I know we have the Colossus. I think we play the White Gates, the Binding, the Insight, and the Colossus. And then I think it actually kind of looks like hot stuff. Where'd that Colossus go? I'm not lying, right? We had a Colossus. Oh, I need to show colorless. And this could play with all these gates we have and in this type of format. Yeah, Dowser mattered at 4/5. I can put that in as well for consideration. I think this is kind of what we're choosing between. I I'll throw this in. I bet we're cutting that. I didn't even put this in. Even though it's removal, it tends not to be good enough, but maybe I'm supposed to play this too. We should at least play the Guild Gate, because gates are... I don't know if we can even play the Foundry. What will we play in red? We can splash white. Now we can splash anything now, so we should look at it all. Crater Maker. That's a... You like the Guild Mage? Hypothesisal's real. And very, very splashable. Skewer. Command. Get the point. Theater of Horrors. This deck's... we could play anything. We got there on lands such that, yeah, we could play any of this, although it's starting to get obviously a little greedy here. Got to make some choices, I think. But I'll put all... let's just put all the stuff that we might consider in, and then make some tough choices. Don't think we're ever playing this. Seems like the only green I'm even really interested in is the Guardian Project and the Shark to Crab. Greed Soup, good deck name. Well, the pot's overflowing, so let's figure out what's got to go. I can give up on the Imp when we're trying to find cuts. Looks like we're core black-blue. Passwall might not be, as much as I say it's great in a clog. I mean, that's what's its job is to help you overcome a clog. But you could argue that we have that in Chili Bee, Double Chili Bee, and Colossus. And so, like, we're kind of doing that job. Radical Idea, maybe not enough of an advantage. You know, this is kind of slow and clunky for how much card draw it gets. So I'm going to cut that. Strands, we need to sack something. We don't have just like throwaway critters. We're not really doing that. Yeah, we can cut the Spy Bug. Again, is not really impressive in, despite being in the colors, it's not... What's the plan? What's the... I guess the plan, we put the glaive on it. That would be pretty good. Well, I acknowledge that that if we play it, it's because it's a 1/1 Flying Menace for 2 that eventually becomes a 2/2 Flying Menace for 2. That's what the card is in this deck. That's not unplayable. We just have to understand that that's what it is, and then say observe things like, oh, it does get very good with a glaive, you know? Right. In fact, maybe we just... So let's cut the Guardian Project, and then we can we can just splash the Shark to Crab. I still want to run all the gates because of our big boy. But, yeah, we can cut Strands if we're going to keep some of the red removal, which we can do... I'm not sure I want to bring back... I mean, the Boros Guild Gate is not... I mean, we're double splashing, so I guess we would play the rare land as well. So I'll add that in a bit. But let's get rid of this Centipede. Let's be choosy about the removal. I think we can... I like the instant of the command. Clear the Stage is same price in our main color, but I mean, 3 damage effectively versus 5 damage is pretty big game. The second clause on Clear the Stage rarely comes into play in my experience. That's why I don't love it. And I think I've talked to myself, if we're playing the red, let's just cut it. We've got a nice suite of much better removal at 5 and better interaction at 5. So I think that's a good cut. Capture Sphere could even go on that philosophy here. I like Binding. Skewer is maybe actually cuttable, given that red is trying to be a splash here. And I don't even know if we're playing Guild Mage. Yeah, we could lean heavier into the red. Again, Shark to Crab is just kind of a freebie off of Simic Guildgate, Golgari Guildgate, and 2 Plazas. Like, I mean, that's 4 sources for the crab. That's plenty. And our natural red, when we add the other one, will be 4 as well. Yeah, this also goes to face, which is relevant, right, Hat? If this only went to creatures, it would be another, like, are we really happy to have 3 damage to just creatures on turn 10? Maybe, but it's, you know, it's much worse than also having face options. But this, if we think of it as, you know, just a play for up here, it's not a bad one, but it's certainly not a 2-drop for us. We might up red enough to that it could conceivably be, but something's got to give here. I think. Well, help me with cuts then, Medi. What do we cut? Let's see. Maybe this is even where we could cut a Clear the Mind. Although it's going to be good here. We are doing. Maybe cut a Blade Brand as interaction that requires creatures and is a little bit clunkier. This is a shockingly scant 1/2, but this is sealed, and our 3 is pretty strong. Oh, you cut Dead Revels. Yeah, let's see. Well, I don't need this to be 2 mana, though, right? Let's say we never Spectacle. The question is in sealed like this, returning 2 cards from your graveyard to your hand in the late game worthy? And given the quality of our creatures, I do like it, but also, you know, we need to make cuts. We could get greedy on lands, given that we're best of 1. Like whether to include the white cards or go find more white cards. I guess Binding, you could argue, is at the lower end of our removal suite, given this stuff. I really like drawing some cards. Again, and it's also so free. We've got 2 natural white gates and 2 plazas, so 4 sources to splash and insight is all fine. And yeah, getting back Shark to Crabs, Thieves of Sanity, and Gate Colossi and Chillbringers and stuff does seem good to me. Maybe I just give up on something like Code of Constraint, which is fine, but we're pretty thick at 3 in reasonable plays, although, you know, I kind of want to Clear the Mind as well. And then this, I think I do want to keep the Guild Mage. It just feels like it's going to do some work late. So now we're down to 1 cut. Oh yeah, the Colossus does get itself back, but sometimes you don't have a gate and you have a Dead Revels and you get your Colossus back, and that's cool. Dowser could be on the list. Again, we're pretty fine at 5 in terms of what we're doing there. Yeah, we're very creature light. Well, no, maybe not. We're not that bad. I thought we would be lower. Yeah, I think Dowser's a good choice. I don't know about Draw Engine, but we do have Sphinx's Insight, and where is it? This does extra cards. So we've got, and Thief does extra cards. So we've got some cards in the deck that are looking to draw extra cards. Dimir Informant acts a little bit like card draw. League Guild Mage is staying in because it draws cards. So I think we are doing enough on the card draw here that we don't need to bring in a Guardian Project. Although we could. I mean, but that would be the cut. Like, what card draw are we cutting for Guardian Project? We could cut the Dead Revels or something like that. But let's start here to get playing, fix this mana up, and then see how this goes, and then we can make some adjustments. What were we calling this? Somebody had a good deck name, but I've already forgotten it. It was a lot of fun, Oni. Thanks. Hey, you and me both. For those of you who missed that announcement yesterday, I have a new job. I have not announced what the job is yet. I will be announcing that on Monday, April 18th, the morning I start. I have talked to my future, it's all signed now. Greed Soup, yes, thank you. But I'll be hopping on very briefly the morning of the 18th to say a temporary farewell, I hope. But I am going to hiatus the stream as I take the temperature of things at my new job, and I'll tell you about it on the morning I start. And let's see. This feels like too much red and not enough black at first blush. I'll look at it like this, though. We have black, early black we want to play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Naturally, I think we do want at least one more black at a cost of a mountain. Probably going to need some more blue, too. Color percentage in the stats doesn't really help me that much. My focus... maybe in this case it would, because it is so soupy, so we'll take a look. But before I do, my approach is to look at the early game and focus on maximizing your ability to cast your 1 and 2 drops, and then to an extent 3 drops. And then after that, I don't, I need to know if there are doubles or not, so that, that's relevant. But the overall makeup of my deck is far less important to me than the overall makeup of my earliest drops. That being said, yes, let's take a look, because this is a little confusing in its soupiness. But here we see 13-9. So that's suggesting blue should be a little heavier than black, but that's also, again, black has 2 1-drops that we want to cast potentially on 1 or 2, which trumps the gap between these in terms of pure mana symbols. Now then, on that front, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 naturally for blue. And I just added an 8th to black. What if we went 9 on blue, 8 on black, and then drop mountain to this? This gives us mountains of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 red sources. That seems solid. Before I did jury duty, Siriana, I considered PM streaming. Then I realized that I was in no shape to stream after a full day of work. So if my hope is that this stream will continue as a weekend endeavor in some way once I understand the shape of my new position. Okay, let's... I know I had some bling here. Lotus Sleeves for Mama. Would I consider never sleeping? No. That's gonna go no. How about a big, loud, hard no? Can't remember if I managed to squeeze sleep is vital into the life lessons, but there you go. Number 67 or whatever. Sleep is vital. All right, we're done. Yeah, I'm going to leave the lands as is. Let's play. Honestly, I haven't broken it down too much. I'm wary of my opinion of new UI because my brain always hates new UI. My brain wants the thing it understands and is familiar with. So, but I haven't put a lot of thought into what they've done with that yet. This is Rav Mixer. Makes it really tough and intimidating to roll out new UI, let me tell you. Like, all right, team, we're going to roll this out. And everyone's going to hate it. Be prepared. That's how this is going to go. Until they love it. That's the idea. They're going to hate it till they love it. And the idea is we did our job and eventually they're going to love it. Keep. Let's see. More likely to need black. I'm going to go gate. Yeah, because we might draw one of our black 1-drops, and we can do the other gate on turn 2 if nothing to do. But we found something to do. One of our 2-drops. We'll take it. I'm happy to do anything on turn 2 in this deck. Quite literally. If we found a play, if we have spent mana, like actually one of the important things, like we have this complete lack of 2-drops, but we have 2 plazas. So really this deck has lands as its 2-drops. And we have a good blocker for a Blade Instructor. They can't just attack through it naturally. They're going to have to come up with something else. So let's do this and get the nice Surveil as well. I almost said Scry. It's basically, it's Graveyard Surveil. It's Graveyard Scry. Well, Mountain fixes our red. Whisper Agent is just good. We don't need a land next turn. We can go Whisper Agent with the Azorius Guildgate tapped and then have the Mountain after. And then we have card draw in hand, and we can cast that. We can do the stealing. We just don't have the green yet, but other than, I'm going to keep. I mean, I'm not going to not keep these because it doesn't contain green. I like what this is offering, so I'm going to keep them in this order. And we get another Surveil here. So if we... although we're going to Surveil with a card we want on top, it looks like. So that's not super exciting. Yeah, there's no red in hand. That's fair. But I do want to play a 5th land. I don't think we're done with land at 4. Oh, I guess it's our 6th land. Yeah, maybe that's our 6th land. I should have. That's a good point. Somehow I was thinking it was our 5th land. Sky Knight Legionnaire gets in. We could steal that. That's not a bad steal, although it's funny. We steal a thing with haste and can't attack with it. But I like it. You know, it's getting us. Yeah, we can. What about Connive stealing the Legionnaire? And then that uses up our mana here on this turn. And then we get Gate plus Agent next turn, and we actually have a relevant Surveil as well. I'm going to do that. I mean, there's not... Like, this is just 2 power or less. This seems like a great card to snag with this. I'm going to stay on D with the Informant, though. Yeah, it's a 2-for-1, right? It's removal and we got a creature out of it, and so that was a great exchange for us overall. And yeah, we don't need the Mountain now, so we're going to get the Guildgate out. We could equip... Well, let's see. If we played the Mountain... Oh, this is equip 3, so we can't equip this and do anything else, so we will go ahead and Guildgate here. And then... Agent before land to why? I was going to flash this in. Maybe I'm fancy playing it to even flash it in, but I just didn't see... Yeah, that was what I was thinking. They could mentor the flyer too. But I'm just going to flash the agent in. It's been a while. It's been a while. A lot of dangerous, slightly off remembered cards in the, you know, when you play these older formats. I know what that card does. I played it 200 times 3 years ago. All right, Revels. We could start trying to trade off. We may be trading off, but Revels isn't good yet, and we have Insight to keep digging, so I'm actually gonna, I think, bin this. But it's value. It's just not value yet. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too confident that I don't need this. Current, we want to get that out of there. Hey, thanks for that sub. This is great, but we're gonna get them to use their removal elsewhere before we expose the sanity, the thief of sanity, to this direct current. I'm going to play the land then. Can't crab. We could insight and then not be able to glaive. What's the value of glaving? We get +2 vigilance and menace. So we could make this like a 3/4 vigilant menace. We could make this a 5/2 vigilant menace. 3/4 looks pretty good against this growing army of scurriness, right? We also can 2-spell that way, right? We can thief and equip. So let's do that. Oh, but if I thief, I see, this is how I end up screwing up in games. I come up with the correct thing, don't play thief, they've got a current. I go through 12 other ideas and then come back around to, and play thief. It's just like, ugh. But I caught myself. That being said, I do think, yeah, let's go. Let's put this on the informant so that we have something scary if they go to kill the agent. Yeah. We can even attack. Yeah, if they want to block here, they need to put 2 in front. If they put 2, they would put Challenger and Instructor, or Orator and Instructor. Oh, no, they wouldn't do that because that would be a 2-for-1. So a Challenger plus one of these 2. And that would be fine. Yeah, that's what I should have done, Mike. Too late now, but I like Mike's line. And this, I think they're really just being willing to set up here to kill the Whisper Agent and attack Instructor, Orator for the what is it called? Mentor? But that's okay. And I know they're going to kill the Whisper Agent. I almost want to hold the mana to seem like we have something else. But also putting this on the Whisper Agent almost just guarantees they will, because they're like, ah, sweet, I even get their equip, right? But we're not going to spend the 3 mana anyway, so they're not getting anything they didn't already have. You like play the Thief? I mean, they're just going to pick it off. Are you cool with that? Are we happy with them? I mean, I want to keep the Thief and use it. I'm going to be greedy, Mike. I don't know, maybe it's wrong, but this gains some life. Hey, Coordinator, welcome. It does just become really juicy target, right? And it, yeah, why is it too much damage? Just whatever. 18 to 12, we're fine. Because they can get us to 12, but it takes their turn. They got a direct current there. And they didn't do that. Interesting. Interesting. Well, now I get to attack back with the Whisper Agent. Or maybe they'll still attack, in which case we can consider blocks. But they chose not to pick off the agent. Interesting. And how do I want to do this? The Thief now is facing a Senate Griffin anyway. We could race. They're going to hit us for 6. We could crack back for 5. We gain a little life. But then, yeah, Shark to Crab isn't online. I'll go ahead and trade off. I was expecting to anyway, just for this. But we got to play, like, we're going to play Sphinx's Insight if we don't draw action and see how that plays. I think I do this. Still need action, so I'm going to cast the Insight. Yeah, this gains life, which I don't care about as much as the potential for the Blade Instructor to do more mentoring. That was my thinking there, but it's possible that was the wrong block. Let's do Insight, though. Yeah, I could have spent the red, I suppose. We were unlikely to find something we wanted to cast for red. Not punished, but yeah, I like manual tap the red. It was unlikely. Now we'll go... we need a little more black out there. This doesn't hurt. Didn't find any... Didn't have our green splashes yet, though. That's true, we do have a blue-red 2-drop, but we have more... I should have at least thought about it. How about that? As is often the case, the mistake was really for the not considering it at all. Command the Storm is going to be part of our bailout plan. I'm going to really try and not play this Thief out until they commit the direct current, but at some point you also need to just play your lightning rod to not take 2 to the face and to not die. In this case, though, we have an eel to threaten on the ground now, and is that enough to storm? No, we can't 2-spell, but I can eel and evolve. Yeah, that's probably the thing to do. It puts us in a spot where if they have a piece of removal or bounce, we could be in big trouble. But I'm doing that while shields are down and I don't have to think about it too much, and we'll see if we live through the turn. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Single point of failure type play, and now it's going to be very tough to manage this, although maybe we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, if we had just gotten a little green... Shark Crab... We got a lot of sources for you, buddy. There's like 4 sources for you. We just didn't find them. Gate Colossus, if we could command the Storm as well, would be potential stabilization or survival, because we could block the Griffin, or command the Griffin. But thing is, we play Thief, we play this. Have to Thief and Colossus, but then they just kill the Thief and kill us. But sure, let's make him do it. I guess that's correct magic. If we're trying to win a Pro Tour, we would certainly make our opponent see all the lines. It's just we're dead on board if they see it. And why wouldn't they? Heck, they can go to our face with the current and then attack with everything. All right, good work, Avo. Huh. That was disappointing. I thought we had a hand to get there. Their removal lined up really nicely with everything we did, though. Yeah, but back to that decision, Mike. We have a blue-red 2-drop and 2 black 1-drops. So what do? You look and you say, what if we drew it would we be most happy about, and probably play to that? Yeah, maybe. I don't think it made a difference there, but maybe I was clinging to the Thief too much. Here's our 2-drop that I was talking about. I like that. We'll keep. This looks good. Yeah, this looks good. It gives us everything. Oh, we have the gate. Okay, there you go. Then yeah, we were fine. I accidentally made the right play. We've got red cards and no green cards, but we have a mountain, so I'm going to play this guild gate to start. Hey, Clover, thank you. Plasma. Well, it's a plaza turn here. We could drop a Poisoner and a Gate, but I'd rather just play the Mountain here and a 3. We're going to get the Informant and take a look ahead. Chili B, what's our land sitch? We've got lands 4 and 5. They both enter tapped, but we get up to 5 mana, and we have some card draw. So I think we can keep all this. This is maybe a little clunky immediately, but we could even copy Skewer. We have the double red. So I think we can keep all this. And it's a bear, you know. It attacks and blocks even if it had no text. I feel like maybe I keep too much though. Like I fall for the its action, therefore don't surveil or scry it away. So I've been thinking about whether I'm being too happy with what I see. But I am happy with what I see here, so I'm gonna... Hammer says pitch Guildmage. Yeah, I'm gonna keep. It's a double spell, true, with the Poisoner. We can sneak it in, and it can be a bearer on this board for a little bit, and if it matters in the late game, it'll matter a lot. And let's see, we want Mage. Yeah, okay, it's leaving us the Plaza, so we'll do that. We'll do Poisoner. And I'll drop a red gate, and then we'll have 2 reds. We have 3 red sources now. Maybe I was supposed to drop this one. Well, I think we're okay. That Plaza solves a lot of land play mistakes. Probably just going to Sphinx's Insight next turn. Might Skewer, though. We only have 4 because the gate's going to come down. In order to Skewer, we'd have to connect for damage, and then we could copy it. We could spend all our mana and copy this twice. Might be worth it. Trouble is they got a double striker, so they can just clean block the Poisoner. But maybe that's the thing to kill here. This card usually isn't very good, but it's pretty good against us right here. So I kind of like Guildgate Skewer. Just don't be fancy about it. Do that. Kill the thing. And our turns coming up start to look really good with this hand and this board. So there you go. Grizzly Bear, that was Lightning Rod, right? And Chili B will help with that survive until late game. They're not playing colors that are going to punish me for going low to like only having a couple of extremely valuable cards in hand, which black can punish you for. So we'll go ahead and play out the swamp. And all right, everybody, chill. I think we just tap the Peggy, although we don't really care. You know, maybe we just tap the runner. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't think any of these attack very well. But this thing could, yeah, I don't know. I think I just do the, but this freezes it so it stays down. I don't think it really matters. I'll do this one because it's the one I want least to attack us. Foot's itchy. Itchy foot. Theater of Horrors. Okay, I gotta actually read this. I remember that it's good, but I gotta read it. Beginning of your upkeep, exile top card of your library. During your turn, if an opponent lost life this turn, you may play lands and cast spells, so you get both, and then you can ping for 4. Got it. So again, it works best if you're dealing damage naturally through attacking, and we're going to be doing that, it looks like. Oh yeah, sure, sorry. What do you want, Jopester? Let's see. Let me do dealer's choice here because I have certain ones loaded up. How about this one? Sorry, Oppos. We'll get going here. All right. Yeah, like Insight. Insight, and then that leaves us for the mana to, with any land, to double spell. Sure. Oh, but we missed. Although we got a 2-drop, so we get at least to get to double spell off of that. And I'm in for sending the chili. Let's catch up in this air race. Yeah, any land. Well, you know what I mean. We had a shot. Let's see. So 7 mana here. Thief and Theater. Yeah, Thief Adept is great, right? Let's start with an attack, though. Up top. So we might get pinged by activating stuff. We gotta be somewhat aware of that. And they can spend 5 to pump up. They don't have 5 currently. Kind of just want to, almost want to sizzle what we got here. Let's pass wall the Thief, and then play either this or whatever we get with the Thief. We're going to take some damage from this thing, but it'll be worth it if we just manage our life total a bit. I think Oppo is just starting to do the math here and is not happy with what they see. Yep. Yep. I get it, Oppo. That's a positive EV life choice right there. I get it. Thank you for the sub. Thief of Sanity is a well-named card. Moat up there with the best of the early top-down designs. All right. Magical Plaza on turn 2 for unlocking everything. My Oppo is always welcome to play my Tristani. That's funny. Yeah, can't do a 2 here, so we'll play the Plaza. Little life gain for Oppo, but pass wall on 3 even. We can go pass wall gate on 3 and have blockers for the child. Eel into get the point now. Drop the guild mage, let him kill some stuff, and then dead revels. Good kind of rough idea of our arc here in this game. Do I chump here given the revels we want to do eventually? Is there anything else? You know, what is it? What do I get by not chumping here? I don't have any ways to self-sack for value. Yeah, I'm just going to chump here. I guess the reason to wait is they play a bigger creature and chump for greater life savings. Also, I can still activate this. So if I decided to not kill it, eventually we could use it for activation. But it looks like we're going to be on the back foot here. We're up against Mardu aggro. So I'm just trying to figure out how to survive here. That's going to be Eel in to get the point. And if they have bigger attackers, we can probably block with Eel and kill with point. So I am going to chump here. Mike says wait a turn. Yeah, I could have, I suppose. I didn't. But now Eel or Guild Mage Deadweight. Again, if I don't cling to these cards with late game value as late game cards and just treat them as how we survive right now, which is kind of the mistake I made with Thief earlier, then we're likely to survive more. So I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, 2 spell. We're going to Deadweight, probably the pumpable, although this pumps with green and they don't have it. But I like a Guild Mage and a Deadweight. Being fully ready to trade with Guild Mage. Yeah, we can get it back to great point. Like, we're looking to get stuff in the yard anyway. So now Deadweight the Knight as having the best individual ability on these cards, given what we've seen here, given we don't expect this to pump right now. Or Orator for extra toughness and also some life gain. You think? Do you think they're going to play green and that we need to worry about the pump? They might just be playing this as a 2-1 in their aggro. I can't believe that they'd be playing green in this Mardu deck. Ming, if they do that, fine. I'll suck it up and get the pointed or something. I think it's Child. I think the life gain might matter. I don't want to get him too far away, but you're probably right. If we take over the game, the life doesn't matter. But if this deck is playing a forest, I almost want to not play that they are because that's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. They can't be playing a forest. Maybe. People have done stranger, I acknowledge that. Here we're going to go ahead and play our Eel and get this gate out. Yeah, maybe a gate gives it a free activation. That's a fair point. You might throw... But even that, 3-color Mardu aggro and you're going to slow it down with a 4th-color gate? It doesn't seem right, but it doesn't mean Oppo's not doing it. I'll grant you that. All right, the Mardu aggro deck just stopped attacking. We have an instant speed, kill anything, scry one. Deep breath, everybody. Got 2 creatures in the yard, so Revels is playable now if we wanted to do it. But I'm not seeing it. for right now. I'd rather just hold instant speed removal up while stonewalling their creatures while looking for flyers. You could make a case for attacking here. We've got the remove. I just feel like we're the control deck, they're the attack deck. As long as I just keep this board and keep having both sides draw cards, they're going to draw 2-drops. We're going to draw action that's much better. Hammer wants to get going on Revels. We could. Maybe I'm being a little too control-y. Let's see what we draw here. Another gate. There's an argument to start holding gates for future Colossus. I don't like killing these though. Maybe let's send now, and then I'll either use removal or Revels something back and play. I'm gonna do something here, and I'm gonna decide what after I attack with the eel. And yeah, that's a great point. Test that if we get the Guild Mage back, it can start being how we gain value off of this situation anyway. And they let us damage, so that really supports the Revels play. Getting the spectacle here. As I say, they're pausing. I wonder what that's about. We now know. Hold up, 5-mana removal. I guess we just drop the creatures they know about. Pass wall blocks well. Here's a 1/3 on these two, and we can take the other. We can take 5 while we reset our defenses. Question remains whether I'm playing this Guild Gate or not. Since I'm attempting to start drawing cards, I should just play the Gate and accept that the benefit of drawing the Colossus is that it's going to be extra cheap. Not that it's going to be easy to return. Great, so now we get to drop a Poisoner and just sit back on all of this stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So just one of these, and we can draw a card. We can't copy. We need 11 to copy a 5, so we're way off from copying any of the instants in our hand. So right now, Guild Gauge is just going to be drawing us cards. But hey, that sounds good to me. We can use removal if we need to. We can draw a card if we don't. Rough. I was saying, you know, black is a color that does punish a handful of tight cards. I think I draw a card here. We might find a land. We're at 11. I gotta make, and we have block. Yeah, I'm gonna draw a card. More great removal. What's the worst one? Now it's probably Command the Storm, huh? 4 is as good as 5 against their board, and this does more. So yeah, Command the Storm, see ya. Clearly the worst of the 5, or worst of the 3 5s. All doing exactly the same job in the deck, so we fired our least productive employee. Hey, that could be useful. Don't want to return any creature to the yard, but stealing a 2 power here could be fruitful eventually, but maybe we don't even really need to do that right now, and we're just on the same plan. I'm gonna stay back. Don't need to connive anything here, and obviously this is great for us if we're just we draw and they don't. Yeah, we could pump the goblin, that's true. Very true. All right, we're getting some action now. Yeah, close to stealing 2. That would be very fun. Let's set up for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9 mana gets us 4 copy. Hammer says start using removal. Well, 1, 2, 3. We have 8. I can go crab and bind. That's true. They could get us out of nowhere with some falter effect, and that's a reason to start picking stuff off. This has flash. We can crab and then flash this in. I'm gonna do crab and flash. We can also draw another card if we want. Could also start offering the eel. We've got crab on blocks and poisoner. This is where I didn't think about attacking before I already made a play, like I wasn't going to attack. So where they're blocks, they could 1-for-1. We have concoct if we want to use that instead. I'm going to send the eel. I think we can do that, especially with the binding. That's kind of what I expected. They trade those off. That's fine. I know it's an easy 1-for-1, but I don't mind it. I kind of like with us drawing cards. Let's offer them easy 1-for-1s. Mike didn't like the swing. I like offering 1-for-1s here, and to that end, I'm going to let him attack and not bind now. But I may bind. We can bind the Bell Haunt, and then they only have 2 toughness on defense, and then suddenly we have future. But although we're still just attacking with Krabby, maybe I activate Crab. Let's do that. You like binding? Crab, we can get big and pin. Although we can do that when we untap. We can do that on our turn too. I suppose it doesn't matter, but Crab, this uses more mana. I'm going to do this for mana efficiency. Oh, should have sent a poet. This is pretty. And could even bind the oligarch and be like, what are you going to do now, buddy? And do that. All right, everyone, chill. I called for it, I guess. Still want that next land so we can copy the connive. That's just going to be sicko. I can start pass walling for 3. We can pass wall and chill. Or yeah, we can hypothesize for land, and although that starts to become something we can double too. I kind of like just chill again, and no, let's wait to use chill after they untap stuff. We're gonna get in for 8 anyway. I mean, that's the thing. So many options. I'm gonna start just with a plain old attack and see how they want to block, which is, like you said, not at all. And yeah, that's a fair point, Mike. Just getting 3 power in the air next turn is relevant. They don't have any flying blockers. So we can still chill again. And yeah, I like chilling. In fact, the Bell Haunt again and just keeping it down for another turn. It's a good call. Yeah, Smash is cutting through it too, which is really what Mike was getting at. Like, you're overthinking it, Ryan. Play big flyers and win target game. Speaking of big flyers, and they cannot activate anything here. They spent double red to get that down. Hammer and Syriana both make excellent points. That's why we have good discussions around here. Hey, there's our extra land for more connive nastiness, but we're just gonna point the Hellkite. Get in. And, well, do we want mana to double other stuff? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If it got us to 11, I would keep that, but that's silly. We don't need that. And let's see, do we want to, we can send 3, 6, 5 on the ground. We could make unblockable. 8, 9, 10, 11. And then they're at 6, dead to the flyers next turn. Let's do that. Right on. A lot of roads to victory, but they weren't super clear. They all looked pretty good, but I think there was some pretty wide differences in the overall expected win percent of a lot of our later game plays there. There are a lot of lines, and it wasn't a sealed deal, especially if we were worried about a card like Cosmic Kill You, Cosmic Wave. Yeah, I hadn't done the math on it, but when someone called it out, I was like, good point. We should be worried about a falter effect for the loss. Oh, it's not cosmic. It's cosmatronic. Much better. It's a keep. It's got 4 colors in it. I like that. Only missing our tiniest of splashes, the Shark to Crab green. We've got a 2-drop and a 4-drop, no 3-drop play. And it could be rough to have our first board presence be a skittering eel, but it was still a sneep. Well, nothing to do. Might as well play the gate. Makes the glaive better. And maybe we'll go with Imp. Imp wears the glaive better. And we're not going to have immediate mana to up the eel. And it's more likely to get through. A lot of cards and mana of different colors here. Maybe we get countered, but I suppose I wouldn't mind either one of them aren't super important, so counter away. Yeah, that's true. I just like getting up in the air. This is me kind of not overthinking this either, in the sense of let's just get a flyer down and put an equipment on it and start making them answer that, right? Now they did come up with the counter spell there, so be it. I'm gonna just go ahead and offer the eel if they counter this. All right. 2 for 2 on counters, but we have card draw in hand, so we'll, as it sits, start to come out ahead in the attrition battle. Yeah, a little control on control action here appears to be the future. You Sphinx's Insight is a good start, but some recurring value would be nice. The Horror Enchantment or the Guild Mage. Test, I had one of my great matches ever on stream against Reed Duke in a best of 3 Clear the Mind mirror match. It was insane. We can probably look up a link somewhere if you wanted to check it out. But man, Reed got the best of me, but it was one of the best matches I'd played on stream to that point. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm just talking and going on instinct. We should absolutely insight before doing anything, because we're not doing anything but insight, so let's start there. Dead Revels gets nothing yet, because our imp got exiled, and our eel got kind of killed on board, so to speak. So I guess we play the gate and pass. Not much to do here. It's control v control, and I'm waiting for Oppo to do something. More removal that we need them to do something to do anything with. Interesting. Who's got the sicker late game? Me or Oppo? I'm a little worried, to be honest. Ours is pretty good. There's green. At least we can try Shark to Crab and get that killed next turn. No way they don't have more removal if they're not playing anything to this board. Yeah, we're not going to be that desperate, though. I could see, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We can binding at instant speed, so yeah, I guess I shouldn't. It was answered for me anyway. I was going to throw the glaive on just to make sure they, like, go ahead, kill it, you know? But they already were. At least this is just a dead Shark to Crab instead of an exiled one. I'm fine with that. Or, you know, can you please kill my stuff by putting it in the graveyard? If you're going to do it, Oppo, please. Come on. Pass wall wearing glaive is must kill. Let's continue to put out threats. They got to do something about. Makes me want to play the gate. I can still hold it till we decide on combat. I get it. And with their amount of removal, we probably want that. This is interesting too, though. I'm going to go ahead and play the Guild Mage and try to get value here. If they kill this, then we'll have a nice Dead Revels. Dead Revels for Shark to Crab and Guild Mage would be a nice use of that card. But I'm going to... Well, they keep killing my stuff. And in this case, if I equip the glaive, I go... I guess we could still cast... Law Mage's Binding, but I used the blue, so I guess we can't even do that. So I'm going to pass and not equip the glaive so that we have Sizzle and Command available. Oh, we didn't have Sizzle again because of the blue. There's the Gate Colossus. We held the gate. And looks like that's going to pay off for us. At 8 mana, we can even gate and then just hold card draw and see what they want to do about that. We could equip and whatever. They got 6 cards in 800 mana. Like, this Colossus will be like, what we want is nothing to get this. We hope this doesn't get exiled. Please don't exile our Colossus. All right. Given that, now we just pass, let them do their worst, and we get to draw a card in response. Anyway, I like our long game prospects here. Hey! Our long game prospects were great because it turns out the game was 20 seconds longer. Maybe they truly knew all the removal they had and were like, well, I can't ever stop that thing. I don't know. That was weird. They were doing such great work and then we're like, nope, can't stop that. Yeah, they just had nothing but land in hand and were like, well, I'm dead in 2 swings. Come on. Put yourself in Oppo's shoes. Your hot friend stops by. What are you going to say? Give me 1 second, hot friend. I got to kick this Oppo's butt. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Have a drink. Get a snack. Get yourself comfortable. If they threaten to leave, well, don't leave. Hold on. Look, I quit. But, you know, negotiate. Steep. Mountain off the top, we sweet. We go Guild Mage into Sanity. Lost my mind just a couple of times. Lost my mind just a couple of times. We're going to go make him have it mode on Thief of Sanity because turn 3 is just the most devastating turn to play it when you can pull it off. And we're going to cross fingers that if they can answer the Thief, that it just ends up in the graveyard and we'll fetch it later. Pretty nice. Not exiled, but similar. At least we can block and have it die at some point. It is damage, right? Yeah, combat damage. So if we get a glaive, maybe we could reinvigorate that after finding some gates. Let's play the land and inform ourselves of what's to come. I don't want to use Connive on the informant. Revels for eventually getting back our Thief that we block with at some point. Maybe I'm fancy playing that, but that appeals to me. We do need land though, so but yeah, we are pretty full on red here. We do need to find red. That's a good point. And Revels, do we have shuffle effects? I'd love to get that Revels back. But we don't have shuffle effects, so if we bottom Revels, it's gone. But maybe we just have to win this game without it. Okay. Bye, Thief. Oh, that's true. It's not gone, but we also don't have graveyard recursion for Revels, so it's gone. But good point. Good point. I think that's all of our red cards. No, we've got the deal 5 instant. This is one to steal, though, right? What a great connive target. Send the thief. Hey, there's our red. It's not the rare that would let us play a red spell this turn, but it does lower the cost of the Colossus and gives us some hope for good action next turn. Might just want to go Theater of Horrors next turn and get that train rolling with the Knight Arbiter getting through every turn. Oh, I didn't. Okay, we probably should. I've got a plain old mountain in the deck, so I should cut the mountain for that. Yeah, thanks for the reminder. That was just a failure to follow through on that intention. Get the point. Can't target this because of the tax, but critics could. We just kill this thing. If we're worried about the race, it is a pretty good attacker, but we could also go. We can only play one red spell, so that's what I'm. We could also go. Well, we could attack, go Skewer Eel. That's pretty good. I think I'm going to do that. Mike likes theater, but this line is a 2 spell. Gets us on board and takes out. Oh, no, but I can't. I can't 2 spell. I remembered the tax. I was excited to get this for 1. So, okay, well, let's still think about it. Maybe it is for... Because if I do Skewer, then I'm doing nothing else. That doesn't seem great for it to be the only spell. Yeah. So then now I'm back on Theater. Yeah. Still worth killing, but we can take a turn. And then getting Theater going, I think, is very strong here. We're at 20. We're okay. Also, we're out of lands and we want them. That's another reason to get the theater going. If we get lucky and pull a land, we just get to attack with a Knight Arbiter and get a free land drop. Never mind. Great card here. Utility Belt Creator. Shark to Crab, we'll get some stuff done, but now it's probably time for, well, I still can't 2 spell, right? We get 3 mana to Skewer the Flyer, 2 mana left over, doesn't do anything else, but I don't like not killing this thing anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and do that play. All right. I like, Oppo's had some good moves, including this one. Man, a 3/4 flyer plus the Surveil 2, so good. Take as many of these as you'll give me in the format generally. In its original format, that is. We've got removal for it. We can crab it. Probably just want to pick it off. It's big enough, scary enough. For that, and if we do that now, we can just keep getting in for 2. We can also go Shark to Crab, like pin it down, spend a little time on tempo getting the crab going, and then kill it, and then maybe they come up with something even better that we have to, and then we've saved our removal while building our board. I think we can take another swing from a 3 power flyer that I'm going to go crab here. That's what I'm going to do. Ooh, nice one. What would you take? Probably the get the point to pull the removal for that Watcher. If they go Gate Colossus, that's great because we'll just get it back the next time we draw a gate. Guild Mage is a lot of late game value if they can't answer it. Kind of not eel. Not eel, not insight is where I'm at here, but I think you could make a case for point, or not Colossus, so probably Guild Mage or get the point. Yeah. We got more removal. Yeah, but it's not a reason you wouldn't discard it though, even though it isn't just some total freebie for us. You'd never discard it. This is where we could block to get the Thief in the yard, but we'll save that play for later because Glaive could also get it back to action, although not until we find one more gate. Yeah, I'm down for an attack here, and then I'm going to crab the Watcher. Seems fine. They got a lot of mana open. I don't know what that's about. Oh, that's right. Sorry, I forgot. I was still on that mindset of Revels, but yeah, we worked that out. Well, if they're going to sphere it, maybe... I don't know if it's worth 5 this turn just to pin down the Watcher. Well, let's let this happen anyway. Send the 2 and think about what we want to do. We might want to just play the Insight now. Insight doesn't likely get us... Well, I guess we could find a blue source and cast the Guild Mage. Except I can't... I have to spend that. Guild Mage Agent is an option. Yeah, maybe just 2 spell is probably fine. I'm trying to get land down, though, right? That's where I'm at with this, but it's unlikely. Maybe we'll find a mountain. I'm going to do this. I do want to find land. Let's find land of some kind. All right. Plaza, pay for it. Fine. Next turn looks much better with a 7th land instead of trying to figure out how we're going to navigate on 5. Seven gives us Colossus and Guild Mage. Seems good. Seems raceable. And eventually Imp gets us a couple of life back. It doesn't get us a block on the Watcher, but that's one of the reasons I want to get the Colossus going. These 2 can't even block it, so it's quite the clock. They need an answer for it right away, right? They might have counter magic. I don't know if it's Quench or whatever. We want to play Colossus first. Although again, if they counter the Colossus, we find a gate and get it back. So I'm going to start with a Guild Mage to avoid tax counters. And then go Colossus. Maybe time to start sending the Informant as well, but it really doesn't matter. It's like this gets into 10, and we're presenting lethal on an unblockable and it can't be blocked except by. So right now, if they have 3 lands, they can't even send the Watcher. But they're doing that, so they must have something. They can block a Colossus or... nullify one. That qualifies, but that's good for us. We're going to find a gate. We're going to get our Colossus back, and we have creatures in hand. No problem, really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go... This has Flash. Let's go Carrion Imp Whisper Agent. And we'll figure out what to imp away here. Watcher over Sphinx. Probably doesn't matter too much. And then we have this at flash, so we'll wait on that one. Doesn't matter too much. It can't attack into the wall. In fact, maybe I'm just supposed to play past wall. This actually has more impact on this board than a Whisper Agent. Yeah, actually, I think we do that. You want to do Agent just because of mana efficiency? This actually can do something next turn. Although maybe we go past wall, use this next turn. All right, good point. We'll use Agent just as the scry mechanism. I like it. That's good for us. They're out of cards. They've got one good at blocking, but not much else. There's the gate we wanted anyway. Passwall's ability has haste indeed, but actually I think we just want to get Eel down now with Oppo out of action, and we can just Eel and adapt. Or Eel and Passwall and adapt next turn, but this maxes mana, so I'm going to do it. We can do it all, I believe. Oh, no, we're 1 mana short from doing it all. So I'm going to go ahead and attack. Well, let's see. I should win if we can. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at me trying to win. Note, Ryan tried to win. But probably just going to be better to not pass wall this turn and do it next turn. Or do pass wall Colossus this turn and activate next turn. And we'll trade Agent for Guild Mage if they want to do that, right? So that's fine. Wrath number 2. Just have to salute that and find another guild gate. Right now they can't block the Colossus, so they need to either play a 3+ power creature or removal. All right. Still had all these and it wasn't enough. A classy move. Well, after stumbling in our first game, this deck has been humming since. Feels very good. Indeed. They are dead in a lot of ways. Hey, Wumpelstiltskin, good game. Yeah, that was... we attritioned you out there. When you wrathed, it was like, well, that wrath looks like it's great for us in the sense of, okay, Oppo has nothing much left and we've got a fistful of goodies. And we're one of our many gates away from getting our Colossus back. Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you. I didn't know what you're all talking about. Land? I thought you were... I see land exclamation point. I thought that was something you were rooting for in last game. But we have a change to make. Kind of a no-brainer change. Oh, yeah, you did what you had to. I was just saying, good news, everybody. Normally, when your opponent wraths you, you're like, damn it. And in our case, we're like, yeah, this is good. We're still great. We're still great, in great shape here. Oh, the rare land. There it is. Yeah, that's what we were talking about, is that we just, as long as Colossus avoided becoming exiled, we were going to be in pretty good shape. Guildmage was going to take over too. No, I think you absolutely had to Wrath. And then we scryed our way, or surveilled our way. We didn't even need to surveil, it was just on top. Then we just found one of our gates, and that made it super tough. Thank you, Duke79, for that resub. Missed that when it happened, or at least calling it out by name. Appreciate all the subs. Thank you. All right, another chance at turn 3 Thief. Wumpelstiltskin managed to solve it. Let's see if this Oppo does. Grixitron coming up. Make him have it. What you got, Oppo? Well, not. Let's see. And they got Mardutron to our Grixitron. Ooh, Legion Warboss is an excellent card, but it doesn't kill our Thief at least. And we do get the block. What we need is land number 5 so we can Sizzler point it, and then it won't have done too much damage, but even by then it'll have done some stuff. Eel is a wonderful draw, honestly, if it's not going to be our 5th land. Might want to just flash in a Whisper, though, that they might... I don't know. Anyway, we're going to send... Oh, I should... This does land, so right? Oh, no, cast that card. It doesn't do land? I should have looked. Cast. Okay, but it lets you look at 3. So anyway, it was not a mistake to play the land, but it was a mistake to not remind myself of how the card worked. They do have removal in the top 4. Unfortunately, it's another 5-drop. But I think we take it, right? We could also just take their critter and play it. We could take the Guardian and cast it right now. But we have a play for right now, so I will take the command. And I am not going to play the Agent. I'm going to... Although Agent helps us find land number 5, which is really what we need to do. So actually, I will play Agent, and I'll flash that in. They might get frisky and send the Warboss. You never know. Then our Agent is the removal. Yeah, all right, we get Agent as removal. That's the best. Dead Weight is not a land, but it takes out the 2/2 that they've created. I'm going to keep it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. It's a little awkward. It really doesn't fit in well. It becomes a 4-mana kill spell. Maybe I think I keep it, but I don't cast it next turn. But it's good against what Oppo is showing, so I am going to keep it. And we can block here. Mike says don't. I think it'll do a fine job. Gate, Swamp, can't do either of those, so we'll take the Instructor. And hey, Instructor says we now have a 2-spell turn, so let's do that. I'm going to kill the 1/1 and play the Instructor. It's just the cards are templated the way they are, and this one says cast, and cast is a spell term, play is a land term. All right, they finally got the Thief dead, but we got nice value out of it, and also with the way the Thief is worded, and also why I wasn't in some major hurry to command, we still get to cast the command whenever we get 5 mana. It's not how a lot of cards, if the thing that allows you to do it dies, the cards go away too, but that's, again, the Thief is just so good. Here we're going to offer their own Blade Instructor at them while sending the Pass Wall and let them have a choice, and then offer up the Eel after that. Probably going to block the Instructor. Oh, really? Okay. I guess the Flyer blocks the Instructor. That's fair. I see what you're doing, Oppo. Ornery Goblin's great. Blocks or becomes blocked, so all it has to do is block this and it kills it. We got our 5th land, that's going to be nice, but all 4 of our options are 5-drops, so really we are skittering an Eel and keeping a Blade Instructor back on Orator blocking. And I'm certainly not leaving this back to block. I'm going to try and race. I guess if they kill this and to get in for 5, that could be tough, but we're about to get in 5 ourselves, so I'm going to do it. What do you mean hold for evolve? I was just going to evolve on offense. You wanted to be on defense? You were going to stay back? I mean, we do have an IGI, making a race a little bit tougher. But if they don't have specifically removal for the Instructor, they don't get us for 5 either. Rough, but we got a string of removal upcoming, and they didn't attack with anything but the 1/1, so okay. Now, though, we got to take out the War Boss again, or we're trouble with that. I think Sizzle is interesting. We don't need to find much to pitch in order to... the thing is, I like all of our cards, so I'm not looking to pitch any of these. But truly, Warboss needs to die right now. So it's command or it's get the point. The Scry is a little better, but the spell is more universal, destroy as opposed to damage based. So it's command or sizzle, and with no need, given that they both do the job here, I'm going to do command, and then we can maybe draw a card that we know we want to discard to sizzle, and then I love casting sizzle. I love casting sizzle knowing what I'm going to discard already. So, and we're going to do this shields down. And stay back on D. But now, when I say stay back on D and Oppo's got an IGI going, there's pressure. We got some life gain. We're going to get some pressure on board. This extra drain doesn't help our situation. So Oppo with a nice Sealed Pool 2, doing some good stuff. Theater of Horrors I like to see, but it seems a little on the back foot for what we're up against. Now I like Chili Bee on the Thrall, Swing Eel, and have Instructor Bringer on defense against this team. But we can't not attack anymore. We gotta get some attacks in, and Eel is gonna make some choices. Yeah, Theater's a reasonable pitch to sizzle if we get to that point. But let's see how the next couple turns play here. I think they're just trying to use their life gain and chumping to just get there in a slow grind. Yeah, I guess so, Mike. But if they wanted to triple block to take down the 5/5, I think that would have been good for us. I would have been pleased with that. As it is, they're showing us that this is really unwinnable on the ground now, and so you've got to take the goblin hit here, which is tough. But yeah, this kind of may just become unwinnable. Because I have to take this. I need the Chillbringer. And that brings us to 7 against all this drain. Land is kind of what we needed there. What can we do? We're not quite two spelling it, and we kind of need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Insight drawing 2 isn't going to help us on that front. It's got to be Sizzle. And I certainly can't take another attack with the Thrall. And I need to be attacking in the air. So I'm leaving. Boy, it's so rough. But I'm going to send Chili. Can I send anything? This is where I just think we're dead, because I can't find a line that makes any sense to me. Attacking doesn't make any sense when we're at 7. Not attacking doesn't make any sense when they're at 21 and we're facing an IGA, right? So it's like there's just nothing makes sense here. And yeah, we can't even cast the Insight. That's I maybe saw a white card and was feeling like we had white, but we stole that. So I'm going to say no attacks, because that feels a little bit worse. And then we'll hold up our instant speed action and do what we can. But IGI has us at a virtual 2. Yeah, I think we're just... Oppo had too much. We stumbled a little bit on mana, and they got too much. I'm going to scoop it up. But as I said, I mean, I felt dead 2 turns before we were. Maybe it needs more land. We didn't go to 16, though. There's 17 land in it, and it is absolutely top heavy. It's one of the problems of the deck, but I do think it is just the build for the deck. And but we maybe... Yeah, I think it's just the build for the deck. This suite of lands doesn't look much like our deck. However, it does cast a Skewer. We can cast a turn 5 Chili Bee, and the rest of our lands should be pretty good for finding action here. I think I'm on keep, but I'm curious where chat's at here. I'm gonna keep. Well, just that it doesn't have it could we could get run over. If we don't find any black, and our only play until turn 5 is 1 Skewer, that could be a little tough. And then, like, that's the worst draw. Come on, deck. I guess I'll play the blue land. Thanks, Jopester. Take care. Okay, Plaza is nice. That unlocks everything and is a 2-drop play to boot. Such an annoying card. I want to deadweight that, but I don't want to deadweight that, if you know what I mean. So what do we do? Probably still deadweight it. I don't want to just take 2 from it with no... What's our plan? I mean, I could steal it, and we could connive it. Maybe that's a reasonable plan. I'm going to play this. Rob's on steal it next turn. All right. I think that's reasonable. We get the value when it dies. Also, let's see what they do here. Maybe an even better 2-power creature to steal. And even, yeah, I think that one's just looks a little smarter, you know? All right. Here, gotta take the smarter one. Oh no, countered? Don't quench me, bro. Oh, kill me now. Jesus. If you've got nothing else to do it to and you're heavy blue, I'm going to play Quenches too. You got to do what you got to do early, but that's a frustrating get for Oppo. Let's do this. In my experience, Arstal, triomes usually end up being, well, triomes for me in Ikoria typically ended up being like 75% of the time dual lands, ETB tapped dual lands that happen to have a 3rd color of mana on them. But sometimes you're a legit 3-color deck and it really helps. And the cycling doesn't suck either, although I found that I very rarely cycled the triomes, especially if I needed all 3 colors. But sometimes you cycle them if it's more of a dual situation. Yeah, Eel and Deadweight here is a good pairing, and then we can drop a Gate as well. Oppa with all the moves, but to quote Miracle Max. Hold on, I will.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
Why Foundry? I mean, this is just kind of strictly better Gate. I guess Gate, if you want to hold the Gate for like Colossus or something, sure. I don't understand Foundry over Gate unless you have Colossi intentions. All right, Chili Bee. Get in. Tap down and send Eel. I didn't like attack first. I guess I could have pumped the Eel. Yeah, I should have attacked first. The same result. They're not going to block, but the same result. But I should have attacked first to give them a chance to make a mistake. And I am going to attack with the Frozen Oligarch. This could be a 2-point cost if they have Chili dead, but I'm going to make them have Chili dead. Oh, I can also, I forgot that I could skewer. Maybe I'm just supposed to skewer. But I think now we'll save it. Right now, the oligarchs are being contained by our creatures. I like that. We're at 7. They might play a creature that cannot be contained by our current creatures, and in which case we would want that removal. I'm going to get something good here no matter what, but we get 2 things that are still good behind no matter what. Command at instant and eel activation, both available. Well, they're going to get a surveil too because I'm picking that thing off. Theater, nice. Shall we go to the theater? Can you even just activate this? But we can do that at the end of their turn. Surveilled 2, I forgot to see what they did, if anything. It looks like they surveilled 1 and kept the insight. All right, let's see what they can find off the insight. Yeah, we'll do the AMAs after this, so we'll talk mechanics and individual cards. Always good to see your opponent desperation, dead waiting flyer like that. That's a good sign for us, but it does significantly shrink our clock, so I also understand why Oppo decided that was the play. This is pretty poetic. Lots of good stuff here. But let's ping to get the theater activation. Making sure I have sanity mana behind. I do. I almost want to skewer the face, but I'm going to continue to hold the skewer. There's a lot of 3-power flyers in the format, or a lot of 3 toughness flyers in the format, and we're going to want to have skewer for one of them if Oppo manages it.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
All right, how do we want to do this? Let's see, we've got to get the point. We can go, I'm going to play the swamp, count the mana. We got 9 mana. We could we could just do these 2 things and save the skewer. Definitely got to, like, I could also glaive the Chillbringer and then skewer will be cheap. Let's do that. Glaive Chillbringer? Yeah, sorry, glaive skewer Chillbringer, or maybe glaive win. Let's see if I just win. I don't know how much. We have a lot of lands here that are gonna pump this glaive. Yeah, I hadn't done the math, but there you go. What you got, Oppo? I got 9 damage. Nice. Deck is cool. Deck is sweet. Deck is powerful. It's sealed though, so I don't know if deck is yet profitable. $1,600. And what was the cost of this one? Was it a 2K? I can't remember. We're close. Well, unless they've announced something to the contrary, I would assume status quo. But it sounds like they're doing it different. I think that's interesting and fair. I don't think it mattered too much in the throes of the pandemic. But now that the pandemic is subsiding enough in its intensity and people are vaccinated enough that events are starting to happen again, I can see wanting to encourage players to get to their LGS to experience the new set for the first time. No blue. But with Oppo going first and us at least having something to do on 2 with the glaive, I am going to keep this. I just feel like you have to trust in these, especially sealed, that you're going to get there a little bit on the draws. This we have the swamp for the dead weight, so that's nice too. We'll play Foundry tapped. Yes, Arstall. Can do jumping jacks, except I'd hit my head. Low ceiling. District Guide's kind of already done its job with the fixing and the extra land there, but we're going to dead weight it, barring nothing else to do. Or barring anything else to do. All right, we found blue, though, so we got other things we can do. Let's check it out. Not much. All we can do is play the Adept, but that does block a 2-2. I'm in for that. We can still wait it, too. Let's just do 2-spell it. We get both. Fine. Eel next turn. And then we'll start chilling the flyers. I'm going to send. I can't block that. They're tapped out. This is a free attack. Let's make them block. Sometimes I remember to get my free points. Blade Brand's in the format, so it's a good non-block by Oppo for sure. All right, well, we got our 5th land. It's not going to give us a Chili Bee this turn. Not worth equipping the glaive for 1 gate, but we do get a Sphinx's Insight. So I'll start there before we choose which land to play. I could have used it for Eel, I guess, but I would rather draw cards here. For now. Chili Bee's going to help us in the race quite a bit. Double Chili. They might be considering leaving the spires back. Ooh. When it enters the battlefield, has hexproof as long as you control an illusion. Okay, that's the deal with that thing. Another gate. Well, eel grows bigger than that. So let's start by threatening with the eel. And Chili the flyer here. I gotta find, it's not in here, but let's see. We'll go to make my system complain so that I can play you this.
All right, everyone, chill.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
Hey, wait. I'm not mostly dead, am I? Maybe I am. It's pretty hefty ram there. One, two, three, four, five, six. 6 mana. Poisoner Chili. Seems fine. Now we gotta leave the eel back, though, and hope we're winning this in the air. This is gonna be tough, gang. The trample, especially on the ram, is gonna be worth a lot. If we could just hide Poisoner the ram and not take damage, that would be excellent. But it doesn't look like we're getting there. Got a lot of gates now. Maybe there's a world in which we're supposed to glaive, but probably not yet. Yeah, kind of chill the ram and drop the Poisoner and glaive next turn. Got 9 in the air right now. If we glaive up, 10 in the air. Yeah, no, that's a foundry. 9. Well, pros and cons to having your chili bees bounced. Good thing we appear to have the ground locked up, though. It's not pure thanks, because we don't get to equip the glaive. We do get to keep the ram down, though. And we will. And send the chili again. Kind of just a repeat. Unless, maybe they have a counter. That could be. They're bouncing to counter on the way back down. Ooh, Revels. Is that getting us anything? No, like literal 0. Wasn't sure. Yeah, that kind of explains it there. They didn't have counter for the way back down, but they did have an effective counter, you know, a mitigator, so to speak. And with IGI having us at a virtual 2 and them at a virtual 14, it's going to be tough to win again. Another IGI loss, which is a little frustrating. It's not at its best in control, but we are control ourselves, and it is at its best against control. But I think we are out of luck. I think that was too much. We can do what? I can block the spirit. Just got to play Colossus for like the matching the ram. And then this just feels unwinnable again. Same thing as before. I'm making moves, but I don't understand how any of them is leading to a win. Normally I have some idea of my arc. But this feels unwinnable. Like equip flyer, attack, cast agent. How does that help us win the game though, right? With Creeper being able to fly and Spirit being able to fly. I mean, we can't attack with the Chillbringer. I think Oppo gets to figure out how we're dead is is how this works. All right, a guild gate. Did we get there? What are they? What happened? Am I missing a tap? Or did we somehow get there? Whatever. This is the only play we've got. Let's see if they can do anything about it. They don't have blocks if I pass wall it. Did Oppo give this one to us? Thanks, Oppo. Six. They had 5. Oppo just decided not to win that game. Wow. I can't. We're still playing Magic. How about that? Nice. I thought we were donezo. Arena trying to find someone worthy. Here we go. Turn 3 sanity. I'm in. Draw a swamp. We could decide to poison her instead, but nope. Plaza it up. Hero of Precinct 1 is quite real, and actually I think I'm going to go Plaza, kill Hero, and not let him get any value out of this. Also a nice target for a deadweight, but also a nice target for a connive. Keep coming up with reasons to not play my Thief of Sanity, but 2 for 1ing my opponent on 4 mana seems fantastic. Yes, yes, kill your own creature with your own spells. Mwah, ah, ah, ah. Yes, use your removal that you would have used on the Thief of Sanity instead on your own creature. Honestly, this is starting to make me think I should sandbag the Thief and play Agent, yes! Yes! Poisoner Agent, Thief Agent. Maybe it's time to make him have the removal and just go. Sorry, I said agent. I meant poisoner, thief, poisoner. I'm gonna make him have it. We're gonna thief, poisoner. Mike likes hold agent. I'm saying show me thief protection. We got a sizzle for that, so we're getting in with the thief next turn. It's happening. And I think agent is the thing to pitch here. Keep our removal there. Oh, what do I get? What do I get? Light of the Legion. What do I get? Winning Magic games. That'd be a good meme for all these thief-style cards. Little buzzcocks. But I'm going on hiatus in a week. It's time to stop thinking about... I'm never going to stop thinking about good memes, though, right? We're just all destined to be thinking about possible memes for cards for the rest of our lives. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Light of the Legion. We just cast this now. Dies to put a we don't need to cast that pre-combat, so I'll go ahead and attack. Just checking. Like, I couldn't remember if it was like ETB counters or what. Take the patrol. And at 6 mana, I like 2 spell here. We can go patrol skewer, or even 3 spell adept binding skewer. Yeah, I could also just make the big old 5/5. Thing is, if it dies, we want more stuff out to get counters, like the pass wall. I'm gonna go. I think I go Parhelion pass wall. Why wouldn't it? Yeah, maybe they need to kill Thief even more. What do you think this is about? This might be pre-Kaya's Wrath or something. This feels suspicious. I'm going to assume it's Kaya's Wrath here, though. Well, maybe I shouldn't assume it is. I will... It's sure suspicious, though. I think I'll do this and give him 3. I think we're about to get wrathed, but in case not, I'm gonna take 3. No, Healer's Hawk. Okay. Well, that's great for us. I mean, I can even bind the Hawk if we want to get the sanity in and then kill the... Yeah, like this there's so much to do here. Swing both, they're going to chump the Thief, which maybe we're just happy with, and I'm overthinking. That's fine. Oh, Blade Brand, the Thief, is not chumping the Thief, so, little mistake. I guess we could have considered that possibility, but certainly we've gotten some serious value out of the Thief, and it is going to straight up take the Hawk out, too. Nah, it's a reasonable line. I mean, I don't know. I ended up agreeing with you, so there's that. But yeah, we drop a 5/5, and still feel pretty good about our spot. Binding, eel, whatever we're going to do, we're going to start with an attack. And with 6 mana, eel plus skewer does some work here, but we're not really worried about any of their creatures right now. I think I'm going to go theater, hold up, binding. I think I'm going to trophy. Let's trophy. How about trophy? Theater, hold up, binding was correct, but Oppo said it was moot. Save your clicking, says Oppo. Nice. Good way to head into the weekend on the Magic front. No other 10s. Good sealed pool into trophy. Gotta love it. And then right on. Thanks for hanging for that one. I'm going to take off soon here, but we have a couple of AMAs to get to. I'm not sure if I ended up playing yours. How I gave you a refund. I know I played Get to the Point at some point, but it probably does deserve. Here, I'll do it anyway. For all the get to the points we played.
Is today's hectic lifestyle making you tense and impatient?
Actually, the card is get the point, right? It's not to the point. You're getting the point, as in the sword. All right, I'm gonna do a little mechanics article read through and live response. Okie doke. Streets of New Capena Mechanics by Matt Tabak. Did we? Sorry, have we heard where they emphasize this word, Capena, or am I emphasizing cap or pen? 5 families, 5 opportunities to make it in this town. The right connections and knowing the rules are everything in Streets of New. You're trying to help, but Capena. The rules are everything in the streets, out on the streets. I want someone who knows. I don't want anybody guessing. Loyalty to one is war with 4, so choose carefully. Maybe you need to know a little more before you decide. Smart kid, each family has its methods. If someone's lucky, they go their whole life in peace and never see those methods. You get to see them all in one go. What a day. I'm not going to play the videos. I'm going to read the cards and the words. The Obscura are the white, blue, black family, and their signature mechanic is Connive. All right, we got an Esper tribe. The Obscura use magic to manipulate and distract, always looking for a more advantageous position. Connive can put you in a more advantageous position, both in terms of creature strength and hand quality. All right, let's check it out. Capena. But see, all I'm asking for is someone to tell me, stop writing the whole word. Write the 3 letters I'm supposed to emphasize. Is it the word P-O-P or C-A-P or P-E-N? Just 3 letters. Just 3 letters, nothing else. Thank you. Thank you, everybody but Rob. So, business as usual. All right, let's get to these cards. What the heck is this mechanic? Ledger Shredder, 1 and a blue for a 1/3 flying rare. Whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, Ledger Shredder connives. Okay, so second spell triggers a conniving. And what is conniving? You draw a card, then discard a card. So we got a loot. If you discarded a non-land creature, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. All right, very cool. This is some design space we're going to see a lot of in the years ahead with Magic. As the design space gets tight, you need to do tiny twists on known mechanics. Now, you could have just said conniving is looting, right? But we already know what that, that's like not quite sexy enough to be a new mechanic. So how do you come up with a tiny twist on an old favorite and call it a new mechanic with a keyword and everything? You just add a little twist to it. So we've added instead of how you loot is going to produce some sort of bonus for you. And I like that. I mean, it's interesting to see how Magic handles the demands of design space. And that's just a great little tool. Tiny tweaks. Tiny tweaks on a known entity, on a known quantity, is a great little way to come up with new keywords. And so then... what is this? This is a special version of it. So if you get this special version, it doesn't have the reminder. It just assumes you know what connive is. Okay, so what do we think of this card? It's a rare. Second spell feels a little more constructed-y. I mean, we're happy when we can 2-spell. We'll see what kind of support it is. But you got to ask yourself, are you playing low to the ground such that you're 2-spelling because on turn 4 you cast 2 2-drops? Are you just drawing lots of cards? Do you have cantrips? Are you playing a 1-mana do-nothing instant that draws you a card and then you can do something else for it? Anyway, we'll see. That's going to impact how well this card plays. But this is just a random way that this card happens to be triggering connive. It's not like connive is a draw 2 mechanic, right? So it's just a rare. Probably doesn't... draw 2 is probably just a word on those cards that's nothing to do with the set themes. So I'm not going to read this part. We know what it is. I just talked about it. Casualty. The Maestros are the blue, black, red family. Oh, it triggered. There's something. Yeah, it is a weird tension, and maybe they'll play because they know that people don't like to discard action. They are probably going to play into that mechanic, or if I was on the design team, I would be looking to play into the mechanic by making sure that the Esper colors at low rarity, common and uncommon, have cards that non-land, stuff that you want to discard, right? Stuff that does something in the graveyard, something that comes back from the graveyard. That takes this negative, oh, I hate discarding action, and makes you feel super clever. I'm so clever, I discarded action, but that was action! Oh, right? That's what you want to set up. So I bet they set up a lot of that. Everybody's got thoughts, I suppose, Tron. A little chat. What is this? Oh, wait, I didn't finish reading this. Casualty. I want to read that. My brain wants to read that as casually. The Maestros are a very casual group. They do everything casually. The members of this elite society appreciate no finer art than the art of the chill. Casually is an optional additional cost that appears on spells like a little chat. See, that actually made sense. All right. A little chat. 1 and a blue instant. Casualty 1. Look, as you cast this spell, you may sacrifice a creature with power 1 or greater. That's the number connection. When you do, copy this spell. Wow. So only a 1 power creature, and you can copy this. What is it? But it's just like draw one. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the other on the bottom of your library. Well, a fancy draw one, but yeah. At uncommon, casualty only 1, I figured there had to be something going on here. Exploit fork, there you go. See, Magic mechanics are just like, you know how you hear like elevator pitches for movies is like you got to tell them what the 2 movies it is? It's Speed and Weekend at Bernie's. They can't slow down and they got a dead guy with them. It's hilarious, right? Whatever. Like you know, and like Magic mechanics, you can end up doing the same thing a lot of the time. It's exploit, but it's fork. Well, if Netflix overheard that, they might send me a contract. You never know. As an additional, yeah, okay. Okay. Well, that's neat. Another clever little combo mechanic. And as it is always the case with these, though, well, not always, some mechanics are just trouble. But with most mechanics, it's about execution. You get a lot of mix and match. You know, when your mechanic is just looting plus or mechanic A plus mechanic B, that's not wildly innovative Magic design. It's necessary Magic design, and it's good Magic design. It's not wildly innovative. So then that means you really need to stick the synergies, right? That's what I love about reading new mechanics and imagining myself on a team is imagining how to take the idea of the mechanic, like I was talking about with the previous one, and what do you put in the set to lean into it? So obviously in this case, we want creatures that you like to sacrifice. When this dies, if the Grixis guild, if the Grixis, what do they call it? Family? If the Grixis family is doing casualties, then they are certainly going to have a lot of death bonuses and a lot of, whether it's an enchantment that triggers off of dead creatures or whatever, you're going to lean heavily into that. You're going to want to make tokens. It doesn't say non-tokens, so I'm wondering if the maestros are going to be spitting out little useless things. This is one of those places where, like, combining casualty with the... What were the zombies called that couldn't block and can attack once? Decay zombies? So like decay zombies plus a little chat seem like they would be a cool combo, that kind of thing. Yeah, Devil's Die-In, that's another good one. There you go. So you know R&D is going to be all over it, looking for the synergies to make casualty not just a collection of words that equal game rules, but equal synergistic set development. You may only sacrifice 1 creature to any, so yeah, you can't just you can't go storming off on because of your creature count. All right, Blitz is the Jund families, and they're the Riveteers. The Riveteers, okay. The Riveteers are the black, red, green family, and their signature mechanic is Blitz. Industrious and tough as nails, the Riveters never shy away from a fight, and Blitz gets you into the action without delay. Okay, Blitz. I'm trying to think of what mechanic I would even build around that name. Blitz means a heavy all-out attack. Perhaps it could be... if this isn't what this mechanic is, here's a suggestion for a mechanic for you, Wizards. How about... whenever you attack, if you attack with all creatures you control, bonus, right? So if you some sort of attack all bonus makes sense to me for a mechanic called Blitz, but it at least needs to be attack with multiples, and it also brings up thoughts to me of haste and trample, especially with the black and green, and that all of the Jund colors touch haste as a mechanic. They all get some haste, so also it could be something around that. It's probably more likely to be around haste and trample than if you attack with everything, but I'm a little tickled that if you attack with everything, that If they don't do it here, they'll do it sometime. Okay, what does this say? Jaxus the Troublemaker. Well, this has got a lot of words on it. It's a 2/3 rare for 4, so it's got to do some stuff. Let's start at the top. Tap red. Red tap, discard a card. So we're tapping this, paying red, and pitching a card. Create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control. It gains haste, and when this creature dies, draw a card. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. So we've kind of got... note the mana is to avoid Kiki-Jiki shenanigans. I haven't gotten to the Blitz yet, but just talking about the Kiki-Jiki-ness of this, by putting a mana on it, you reduce that as being a thing. Although, frankly, if you could make token copies that when they ETB'd produced red mana and untapped a target creature, you could get your Kiki-Jiki combos on. Okay, now let's see what Blitz is. Was I right? What is it? Blitz, 1 and a red. If you cast this spell for its blitz cost, it gains haste, okay? And when this creature dies, draw a card. Okay, interesting that it doesn't have anything to do with multiple attackers. Maybe I'm just too football-minded, but even in Warfare, like, you would never blitz with one thing. That's why in my head, blitz was multiple attackers of some kind. Because... blitzing in football is about overwhelming the offensive line with extra players, you also had to discard a card. Great call. It's you need to do a lot to to Kiki-Jiki with this. So suffice it to say, Jaxus, you are no Kiki-Jiki, but one shot Jaxus could be interesting. I don't know, whatever. This is they're just showing off. You know that when they're previewing cards, most of the Magic audience is super excited about rares. So it's no wonder that they show a bunch of rares in these preview articles. But as a limited player, I'm like, can you show me the bread and butter Blitz uncommon, please? It's kind of a complicated mechanic. There's a lot going on there, like complicated in execution, not in concept. But even concept a little bit. Yeah, it's just a lot. It's like Dash, but you get instead of it back in your hand, it dies and you get a card. So there you go. There's your elevator pitch for Blitz, right? Again, Hat gets in the elevator with Mark Rosewater and is like, I'm telling you, man, Dash plus Evoke. And he's like, you're right. We're doing that. Good. That's funny. That so far we now have 2 mechanics that can kind of be described as a mashup of 2 others. Or Dash and cycling. However you'd like to describe that. Alliance. The Cabaretti. Naya family. Cabaretti. And their signature mechanic is Alliance. Stylish and hedonistic, the Cabaretti, are all about their connections. It's funny. I guess red is pretty hedonistic. Usually I expect a multicolored guild or group that you would call hedonistic to have black in it. That being said, let's continue. The Cabaretti are all about their connections. Alliance is an ability word that highlights triggered abilities that trigger whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control. Devilish Valet. 2 and a red for a 1/3, has trample and haste, and that's pretty weak. But Alliance says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, double this creature's power until end of turn. So 2/3 trample haste if you play a creature, but this is a classic design where you give your player instructions, right? This is a design with instructions. What are the instructions that they're giving you here? Find ways to increase this creature's power. And then you feel clever. Follow these instructions, feel clever, and become a Magic player for life. Nothing complicated here. Yeah, just play creatures, and I like that. Man, Magic is so deep. I like it because it's so elegant. It's a simple thing that hasn't been done before, and here we are, closing in on 30 years in, and it's that we're still saying that is very good news for the game. If the entering creature itself has and enters the battlefield triggered ability like Chrome Cat does, that ability gets thrown into the mix with all the... Yeah, you just mix it around. Sure. Oh, yeah. Tokens are a nice, cheap, non-card way to get... and doesn't say non-token. Great point, Matt. Dude fall. Man fall. Manfall is very gendered, but it sounds close to land, so that's where my brain goes. All right, what's this? Shield counters. That's not a very keywordy thing. Let's see what it says. The brokers. Oops. The brokers. Bant family, and their signature mechanic is shield counters. So you think you're untouchable? Shield counters make your creatures and occasionally other types of permanents harder for your opponents to remove. Are we going to give ward? Are we throwing ward around? Disciplined duelist trips Bant mana, or just Bant mana. Double strike 2/1. Disciplined Duelist enters the battlefield with a shield counter on it. If it would be dealt damage or destroyed, remove a shield counter from it instead. Oh, interesting. It would be dealt damage or destroyed. Kind of a goes to the totem armor. A little bit like totem armor, except totem armor was destroyed only. And this is weaker totem armor. So there you go. There's your elevator pitch tomorrow. It's totem armor, but as a counter, and damage also takes it off instead of just destruction. Done. Boom. Got it. I understand. And I like it. Totem was a little too much. Well, maybe. I mean, it all depends on how you cost it. But certainly, totem armor was powerful enough that you had to cost it expensively, given that they had to actually kill the thing to get rid of the totem armor or get rid of the armor. So this just lets you deal damage, which means it can be a less expensive mechanic to put on cards. You don't have to add that much mana onto a card for it to have that mechanic. And that allows you to make cards with greater curb appeal. There's something about a 2/2 for 5 that you're kind of off of before you even see it. Right? It has to do so much work. You don't like it at first. And this allows you to make more instantly appealing cards by having a weaker mechanic, which is kind of ironic. Another thing you could do with this, and they've kind of done it with Ward, but I bet they'll do it eventually. Magic just has too much of a need to consume design space. But the way that Eternal handled the idea of hexproof or shroud, basically, was that it is more game-long Kira, Great Glass Spinner, I'm using magic code. They use a mechanic, basically counter, if you target this creature, counter the thing, and then take away that ability, right? So basically, imagine Kira's rules text, except instead of the first time this turn, it's the first time this game, or the first time this game that it becomes targeted, counter it. But then that's it. Then for the rest of the game, it's good. That was a really clever, I think, way for Eternal to handle the problem of hexproof and shroud in a way that's good for the gameplay, because it's tough. It says, look, I got this great creature. If you got 2 removal spells, you can get it, but you're going to need to use both, right? And you can see how Magic could do a ward hexproof shroud thing with a counter system that said basically when the first with Kira text, just put Kira text on it and make it game long, and I bet we'll see that eventually. It's in Eternal already because it's got some memory issues, but that's why you'd put a counter on it. You just put a little bead on it to indicate that it's got its shield. And so if they're willing to do it here, I don't see why they wouldn't be willing to copy the Eternal mechanic at some point. And yeah, how about Magic getting to copy mechanics from other games for once? No problem. Anyway, he says a lot of stuff about it, but fundamentally we're talking, do you have to now use 2 resources to take out this one card? Hideaway. There's one returning mechanic to touch on. Hideaway. Oh, cool. Hideaway isn't associated with any specific family and appears on a cycle of cards as well on a few reprints in the Commander decks. Hideaway lets you store cards for future use. I know this one. Well, I know it as a card that had there were the Hideaway lands. There was a cycle of lands in Lorwyn that had this mechanic. It didn't have a number on it before though, so let's see what this number means. Probably just that maximum that much mana, so you can't go hiding away in Emrakul or something. Let's see. Hideaway is an enters the battlefield trigger ability. When a creature with Hideaway N enters the battlefield, look at the top N cards of your library, exile one of them face down, and put the rest on the... Okay, sorry, N is how many to look, because the original Hideaway was a straight 4. Okay, fair enough. That's better. I mean, because the dream of Hideaway is to get Emrakul, right? So I like that they didn't slam shut the door on that dream. They actually just gave the mechanic a little more flexibility in its power level knobs. So generally, also it looks like they're using different triggers. The original Hideaway lands were when your deck was 20 or fewer cards, and initially I was thinking they were going to do that again, but it looks like what triggers your ability to cast the Hideaway card is also different. Unless this is consistent. Yeah, if they each have it, okay, then that's really interesting. Normally, Wizards doesn't do that for complexity reasons. One of the issues with the complexity of this mechanic that they've introduced is that it's asking you to parse 2 different things every time you read a new card with it, right? So I get that I'm going to look for a card and put it underneath, but I need to understand every time, refresh myself on how many to look for and what happens for me to get to cast this thing. So it could be worth it especially if it's on only high rarity stuff and not just some super common mechanic. Then you can certainly toss that in and have a little extra complexity to it. But just thought I'd note that that is a complexity point that you would want to note in the room when hammering out this mechanic. You know, when workshopping this mechanic, you would at least acknowledge that, okay, normally we try to stabilize things by having everybody being, okay, I know all the Hideaways are 4, but what is triggering this one? Or, okay, I know all the Hideaways trigger from blah, but how many do I get to look for here? Just a little stress on the brain to be looking at both every time until you get it all down. Well, what do you know? I'm excited about new Magic. Cool. I like sets that encourage gold. I think this will encourage. We'll see a lot of fixing and 3+ color decks. I just like some of my favorite formats in Magic have really encouraged the 3+ color decks. So I'm hoping we get some of that here. And that all looked pretty cool. And I'm just going to roll right into the preview review. And we'll take a look at a card from the set now. All right, let's check this out. Maestro's Theater, not possessive, plural. So many maestros can come to this theater. It's a land. When this theater enters the battlefield, sacrifice it. When you do, search your library for a basic land, basic island, swamp, or mountain card. So we're looking at Grixis. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle and you gain 1 life. The implication here is that there's a cycle of these that go get the other 3 sets. And yeah, I've been talking about different design challenges that Magic has as a game looking to go years and years into the future, but with ultimately finite design space. One of the places where it can be very difficult to come up with something new that is not also wildly inelegant for things like basic mana fixing. You got to have fixing in your set, and this is an evolution of Evolving Wilds, you might say. And it is better, right, than Evolving Wilds in that it gains you a life, but it is worse in that it only gets you 3 of the 5. So what do I think of this design? I think this is, again, saying, look, what can we do besides reprinting Evolving Wilds again for this gold set? And one thing I think is very important about this design is a difficulty in designing a 3-color set is that you often just end up designing a 5-color set. That if the fixing is good enough, then you've provided the tools so that they can cast their on shard cards or their on wedge cards, but then you're going to make it too easy for them to just trivially add a 4th and 5th color. Now, if there's a cycle of these, it's still going to be that way, because you can say, oh, well, I got 2 Maestro's Theaters because I'm primarily Grixis. But I'm also dabbling in whatever one shares 1 other color. So if you got 2 Maestro's Theater and one of the other ones that overlaps on 2, you are getting into that space where you're going to be able to do 4 and 5. So you're never going to be able to cut that out completely and just say you're not allowed to play, and nor would you want to. But you also don't want to lose the cohesion and flavor of your gold themes into a soup of 5 color. An example of where that happened, for example, is by the end of the original Ravnica. Ravnica was fun. I liked Ravnica in its various iterations of draft and everything. But the fixing was so powerful there that by the end, the correct strategy was to take all of the bounce lands, all the Karus you could early, and then cobble together powerful stuff and just play 5-color. And so they tried to make a guild format and instead made a 5-color soup format. And it was still popular and fun and people liked it, but it wasn't your goal. That's not your dream design. Yeah, bounce lands at common well, they didn't quite see how powerful they were going to be. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's you don't want. That's kind of my point on the whole, both the design of these cards and the thinking behind it. You both are trying to come up with new Magic cards. Even if reprints do the trick, at some point you're like, we need new content. We can't just keep putting the same names on these cards. And so this allows you to create new content, but in a way that works for this world. So I think it's an excellent design. Also, somewhat interesting. Let's talk about the fact, why did they go to when this enters the battlefield, sacrifice it? Because in the Evolving Wilds, it's tap sacrifice, right? F6 value for sure is part of it. It has power level significance. I believe it's a digital choice. I believe the way they have refactored this to work. Yeah, exactly. Although you could brainstorm in response to this hitting the battlefield, right? So you could. It does, but it doesn't let you do brainstorm when you want. You can't be like, okay, I'm going to brainstorm at the end of their turn and do it then. It feels like it's a digital choice, so that when I play this on turn 1 on Arena, I don't have to then go and click it. It's also, it saves players from themselves. Those of you who have watched me for a long time know that I never wait until the end of my opponent's first turn to crack my Evolving Wilds to hide the information about what colors I'm playing. It's not going to do anything to them. They're not going to change their turn 1 play because of what land they saw you play. And if you want to do this, fine, because Rob, I acknowledge that it's technically correct play, but I know myself, and I am far more likely to shoot myself in the foot by failing to sacrifice my Evolving Wilds than I am ever going to gain by hiding information from my opponent. So I don't ever, unless there's shuffle reasons to wait, like brainstorm and whatnot, I do not wait. I do it right away. And so in a sense, this mechanic and this wording on the functionality helps save people from themselves and not accidentally forget to crack their Evolving Wilds at the end of opponent's end step, at the end step. So it does that, but it does change power level. One of the reasons that you see a lot of cards have tap as a requirement, tap and sacrifice as a requirement of this sacrificial ability, that might seem weird, because why do we care about tapping it if the thing's going to be sacrificed anyway, right? And the answer is, well, you can do things like enter the battlefield tapped. Let's say you had, if I had Karma out, Evolving Wilds gets a lot worse if I remember Karma right. But this is a mechanic that overcomes that and still works under Karma, still works under threat of tap and freeze, and Karma does damage for Kismet is what I'm thinking of then. Sorry, different K word. Bottom line, I'll stop speaking in code. If your opponent has an ability that says lands opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped, you would still be able to get instant value from Maestro's Theater. So just thinking about the implications of the various design aspects on this card, I think it's another sign of how Wizards goes about designing cards. It's about baby steps. It's about taking, all right, here's Evolving Wilds. Here's this set. How can we do this on Evolving Wilds, but have it be appropriate for this set? And they did. They just took a tiny little nudge. And if they can move in tiny little directions and call it design evolution, that's great, because they need to evolve basically as slowly as they can to preserve all that space. And there you go. Redain is in standard, so it matters on that kind of thing. But mainly, I think it was a digital choice that had various power level and mechanical consequences, but nothing that trumped the desire to make the experience of playing this card better in digital. So, as someone who plays primarily in digital and cares a lot about digital, thank you, Wizards, for continuing to prioritize digital friendliness in your physical card designs. Much appreciated. I already made the Evolving Wilds joke, Rob. You're late. You take that laugh back, Hat. That was my joke. He doesn't deserve that laugh. Yeah, that's funny. There you go. You all were talking about Urborg and stuff, but you can't keep this around, so that's definitely a factor. All right, cool. Well, I enjoyed checking out the new mechanics and the new card here. Thanks for the suggestion, Scott. Good one. Hey, look! Hat's finding a use for my strict proctor. Yeah, that's funny. Although I wonder if there's like how you abuse that. Haha, I didn't sack it. So now I have this land that does nothing. I sure hope you have Urborg at that point. All right. Fun day after a fun week. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the birthday wishes yesterday, and again, the wonderful birthday video that many of you worked on. Appreciate it. Heartwarming. Great. All that stuff. Raid Captain could come in if someone wants to choose. Other than that, I'm going to figure it out. Quarter calls, you got a Gar? Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Had a good time this week. We had some ups and downs. I think we like trophied twice and bombed out a couple times. So up and down, but the fun has been all up. So thank you all for that. Much appreciated. And I'm going to catch you next week for my final week of streaming before starting a new job that I will explain on Monday the 18th. And I don't intend it to be the final time I stream. I just need some time at my new job to understand the landscape before I commit to anything else outside of my new work commitments. Make sense? Thank you. Have fun with Cord, and I'll see you all on Monday. And on Monday, I'll decide what my plan is, or I'll let you know what my plan is for the week. I might stream some more. I might keep it at 3 times. I am going to have a busy week on a lot of fronts, getting ready to start a new job. So with that, I thank you all and send you to our buddy Alex. Bye, everyone.